Ain't no half stepping. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Thank you so much for hanging in there with us to get in on the discussion. 804-447-0601. We appreciate the love that we getting out there on Facebook. We see y'all out there. We see you listening, Melinda and Jay. We see you. We see you, Lisa P. Thanks for hanging in there, Latrell. We see y'all. We appreciate y'all hanging in there with us on Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. At this point of the show, I want to share with y'all, once again, huge announcement that's coming. Hang in there. We're going to give it to you. Huge announcement on the future of Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. with Big Rube and Carlton Banks. Missing child that we want to profile this week is a young man by the name of Antone Tariq Anthony. He's an endangered runaway who's been missing since June 4th, 2012 from Norfolk, Virginia. Antone is 14 years old. He's a black male who stands 5'9", 175 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. He was last seen once again on June 4, 2012 in the local Norfolk, Virginia area. If you have seen young Antone Tariq Anthony, please contact the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Hit them on their website, missingkids.com, or contact them by phone, 1-800-THE-LOST. 1-800-THE-LOST. Please bring Antone Tariq Anthony home to his family. All right, we're going to move on real quick. I want to get into a couple of hot shots. Hot shots, a new segment that we want to do here on Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. Hot shots is when we take a look at some hot stories that we've seen around the world, around the country, that we want to get into. We're not going to spend a lot of time because Big Rube is busting at the seams to bring us the tune and lube this week, and I'm very, very excited for what he's going to bring to you. And of course, we got our announcement that we will bring to you at the top of the next segment. First story in hot shots that I want to get to you is a sad story that came to us over the weekend with the passing of Rodney King. Rodney King, of course, we know was at the center of the LA riots because of the videotaped beating that we saw from him in March of 1991. That beating, of course, led to the acquittals of the 4 officers responsible for his beating, which, of course, directly led to the LA riots on April 29th through the following week of 1992. So, Carl Banks, I'm going to start with you. When you hear the name Rodney King in 2012, prior to his passing, what kind of thought, what kind of feelings did you have 21 years after having seen that video? You were in your first year of college at the time, if I'm not mistaken. So as an 18, 19-year-old dude, what were your thoughts when you saw something like that?
It really scared me because of the simple fact, you see a person getting beat down by 4, 5, 6 other guys, tased, batons being drawn out, and he's on the ground. I mean, what person needed to get beat like that? And under what circumstances should one get beat like that? I mean, let that happen in today's time. You know, that'll be a whole nother situation going on. It'll be something similar, but I think there would be a lot more crime, a lot more passion involved. It wouldn't be as quiet or isolated as it was in California during that time. I still feel for the aftermath of Reginald Denny. I don't understand how he got beat, because if I'm driving an 18-wheeler tractor trailer, there's no way, one, you're going to end the trailer, and number two, I'm running over everybody in sight. It's going to be like zombies out there in front of me. It's just that type of scary situation that I don't want my kid to be in any circumstance.
Big Rope.
You know, it's a shame that, you know, all of this even happened with Rodney King, number one. Number two,
excuse me, I'm sorry. I feel like it's a shame that all this even happened with Rodney King, number one. Number two, it's really sad that as a people, we could not control ourselves to the point where we decided to basically lose all of our inhibitions and just go out and just destroy stuff. I mean, to me, that was I was insane. I don't understand how people could do that to themselves. And I say do that to themselves because you just can't wake up one morning and decide, yeah, I'm going to destroy L.A. No, you really have to take yourself into a place where most people shouldn't go,
right,
in order to really go down there and do the damage that was done. And I'm talking about everybody, including the looters and the people who just damaged stuff, or the people who beat up Reginald Denny. I mean, all of that. You know, it's a shame that we as humans took ourselves to that level of a lack of a thought process,
right,
to go out there and do something so terrible. It's borderline evil.
Yeah, it is very sad story. You know, when you take yourself back to 1991, we see the video. I mean, it's clear that the guy was, you know, I mean, overkill is a term we use when someone passed away. When you watch the beating that he got, I guess overbeat, you know, for lack of a better term. I mean, it was just hellacious. And then to see him stand in front of the podium, and we all made fun of him at the time, and even years later when he said, "Let's all just get along," we all thought it was funny because of how he sounded, kind of goofy about it. But it was real talk. Can we all just get along? Seriously. And when he made that appeal, especially from the person who was at the center of all that, if you notice, the riots subsided. And in a strange kind of way, the people responded to the man who was at the center of all this. When this person, in my time, I never heard him say nothing negative about the people that beat that ass.
Yeah.
And it would have been easy for him to come out and say something negative, but he never did, at least not that I heard of. And I think that was a very, very strong personal quality for him to be able to forgive, because I can't say that I'd have been able to do that, Big Rue. I don't think I would have been able to do that. And just over the years, and I've seen him kind of pop up in other places. I saw him on Celebrity Rehab. He had a drinking problem, you know, and he'd been arrested a couple of times for, you know, minor offenses and things like that. And I heard him on the radio just a few weeks ago on a rival radio show talking about the book that he had. And he sounded healthy, and he sounded happy. You know, and I was happy for him. 47 years old, man. That should be just at the tip of middle age. He should have had another 30 years to live. And it was just sad. And then you find out that he died at the bottom of his pool after drinking and smoking all day. I'm going to leave it there because I want to move on to another story. But the one quick thing that I will say about this before I let Big Rube get the final word is somebody that drinks and smokes all the time typically doesn't die drinking and smoking sitting outside a pool. Like you drinking and you smoking. You used to drinking and smoking. All of a sudden, you just find yourself at the bottom of the pool, butt ass naked. There's something about that just don't seem right to me. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but you know what, Marcus J., I will say this: sometimes people are placed on this planet to do some things, and then when it's time, when they've done what they're supposed to do, it's time for them to move on in a positive manner. I mean, it sucks the way he was found, but let's just be honest about it. The day that all of it happened, I'm pretty sure he didn't wake up and think, you know, everybody's going to know who I am.
Right.
But by the end of the rest of his life, everybody did know who he was.
All right, rest in peace, Rodney King. All right, we're going to move on from Rodney King to Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens was acquitted of 6 charges that he had been charged with, most of which had to do with perjury with regards to the denial of doing steroids in Major League Baseball when he made the denial on Capitol Hill 5 years ago. I believe it was in 2008, as a matter of fact, 4.5 years ago. And he was acquitted. Now, I don't want to make this segment all about Roger Clemens. I'm going to make my point, and I'm going to give the fellas an opportunity to make their point, and I want to move on. I want to take a different angle on it. First of all, I think that all them dudes who should go to the Hall of Fame. The only ones that don't go to the Hall of Fame is the ones who they got caught on tests or said, yes, I did it. So that means no Alex Rodriguez, no Rafael Palmeiro, and no Manny Ramirez, people like that who either tested positive or got caught. But somebody like Roger Clemens, somebody like Barry Bonds, somebody like Mark McGwire, people like that, you can say all you want. His head got big. He got, you know, a lot of muscles. He hit home runs. I think he did it. You didn't prove it. 12 people say he didn't do it. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, his ass goes to the Hall of Fame. quit trying to throw stones at people because you jealous. Because at the end of the day, you jealous because you can't hit a ball 400 feet or throw one 100 miles an hour. Get over yourself. Hall of Fame. They get in. But the angle that I want to take on this one is the United States government spent a whole lot of money prosecuting Roger Clemens because he said he didn't do it and they didn't believe him. And 12 people said, well, we believe him. They tried to prosecute Barry Bonds, who was convicted of lesser charges, but the big ones, perjury meaning when he said he did not do steroids and human growth hormone, he was telling the truth per the jury. And then John Edwards. They tried to prosecute John Edwards for using money that he took in for the presidential election to cover up the fact that he was cheating on his wife. So my question, and I'm going to start with Carlton Banks on this one. What's your thoughts on the government spending so much of your money on prosecuting? Basically, they were hoping to get the big fish, and they crapped out. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
My problem is give me a third of that money, and I might be out of debt for the rest of my life. I mean, come on now. First of all, you're mad because he lied to you, so you claim. Where's your proof? You had to put a man in jail for how long before you finally got someone to get this far in court? Because he won't try to tell nobody. Now he told somebody, and you still lost. So what you gonna do? Double jeopardy? What?
Well, they already came out and said that they're not going to retry John Edwards. Barry Bonds was convicted of a small, I can't remember specifically what he was convicted of, but it wasn't the big dog of perjury. And, of course, Roger Clemens was already tried a second time because the first one ended in a mistrial. After all that money, I mean, you got high-priced attorneys whose job it is to get people out of jail, get out of trouble and stuff like that. I mean, you can't, as far as I'm concerned, you got three dudes high profile that you lost. Big rule. I mean, what's the deal?
It's simple. It's very simple. Our government, not even our government, our Congress has lost their mind. Excuse me. They have lost their damn mind. You know when all this started? All this started back in, I believe it was 98. The whole Clinton administration. Well, we're going to spend all this money to sit here and prove that Clinton played with this girl's private parts with a cigar or whatever else. So what, he had some fellatio. Really? You spent all of my money to prove that the president got a piece? Get out of here, man. That's none of our business. Number two, all this money spent for all these sports players, I could care less if they're taking whatever. That has nothing to do with all these homeless people on the street. I'm sick of our government, meaning our Congress, spending money on stupid stuff. And then to top it off, the John Edwards situation, I understand why they went to court for that, but let's be real. John Edwards ain't that stupid. John Edwards was almost president. You think he's dumb enough to take money from his campaign fund to cheat on his wife, and then if he did, you think he would leave a paper trail? Get out of here, man. You know, all this proves is that our Congress is stupid, and it's time for some changes.
Last thing I want to get into, everything he just said I agree with, which creeps me out because I never agree with Big Rule. Last thing I want to get into, and we're going to do this one real quick because I'm excited about our announcement, and I'm also excited about the tune and loop. I want to talk about Adidas. Adidas has released a new shoe design that's going to hit the stores in August. The design is causing a chain reaction of racial reactions because the shoe, which features gray, purple, and black coloring with orange handcuffs, which some have argued resemble shackles to wrap around the ankles. Now, I looked at this sneaker, and it's pretty damn offensive, Big Rube. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm showing it to you right now. If you look at the sneaker, and you look at the chain, and you look at the top piece, it looks like a shackle. Thoughts?
Okay. The first thing I'm going to say, the biggest offensive thing about that shoe is the colors. That shoe is visibly ugly. Number two, I mean, the shackle thing, to be perfectly honest with you, that argument is just like Mary J. Blige singing about chicken.
Hold on, this just in. I just got a hit on the page saying The sneaker was canceled due to protests.
You know, and on top of all this, what is wrong with us, man? We are so touchy. If some kid's gonna walk around and spend $150 for a shoe that looks like it has a shackle, that's a parent issue. That's not our fault. Just let it go. I could care less. If they can sell that, then let them sell it. I could personally care less because I'm not spending my $200 on it. One, it looks stupid. And then two, if it's a shackle, maybe it do need to be shackled down.
Part of me agrees with you. I mean, but I also know that there are a lot of subliminal racist things that happen that people don't pay attention to because they're not in tune to it. Is this one of those situations? It's hard to say, but I will say this. It happens, and I think we need to be vigilant, and I think we need to pay attention. And I think that we need to say something more times than we don't, because in those times that we don't say something will be the times that we should have.
Then what about the Mary J. Black chicken thing?
Hey, the chicken. Anytime you got a black person on TV singing about how great chicken is, that's subliminal racism.
But she got paid $1 million for it.
Yeah, but she also realized after the backlash that it was a bad
Mary J. took her check and cashed it.
Kept it going, right?
I mean, it ain't subliminal. It's about chicken, and she got $1 million.
All right, well, let me show you. Let me show you in the next segment the big announcement that we got that we're going to share about the future.
Show it.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Big Rube, Calm Banks. Hang in there. Two in the Loop coming up. Ain't no half stepping Marcus J. Be back in a minute.